I worked past 10 p.m. as a 15-year-old girl, and it almost cost me my life. I used to work at a Subway in high school. This Subway, like most, loved to cut corners at any opportunity. Because of this, we didn't have more than 2 people who would work the closing shift, 11 p.m. close. I would often work the nights alone. Additionally, there was a bus stop right outside of my store that came from downtown, where a large homeless population is. The homeless individuals would ride the bus all day for shelter, get off at the last stop, my store stop, and ride back in the morning. One day, I'm working the closing shift and go to lock the doors. As I walk out, a homeless man comes in. I can't even describe him without sounding like I'm over-exaggerating. He was tall but skinny. He smelled like sewage. His hair was matted, long, and covered in mud. His clothes were torn, and his skin washed-rashy and scabbed. And, I have no context for this, the man did not have a nose. His face was red and scarred over, and there was a giant hole in his face where his nose should be. I'm sure it was some birth defect, but it affected his voice as well, and it looked/sounded unsettling and scary. I feel very bad for saying so. I go to help him, and he is muttering to himself throughout the order. At the end, I ask for payment, and he just said, "No." I asked, "No?" And he replied, "Nothing." I'm not to die over a 6-inch sandwich, so I slide it over and wish him a good night. I assumed he'd leave, but he made his way over to the booths, took off his shoes, and laid down. I told him I'd be closing soon, and he'd have to leave, but he just stared at me. I walked away, locked all of the doors to the back, and watched him on the non-recording cameras, just waiting. A half hour passes, and he's still sitting there. I tried asking again, but he ignored me. I didn't even know what to do, so I called the police. I figured the authority presence would shoo him out, and I could close. They show up and start talking with him. I'm hiding in the back, so I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I suddenly hear a wham! And chairs being knocked around. They escorted the guy out in handcuffs while he was kicking and screaming. I asked what happened, and the officer told me that the man tried to charge the officer with a large knife after throwing a chair and was tackled into the other tables to disarm. They ran his file and found he had 2 warrants for armed robberies.